Okay, so this is a continuation of my Reality Bites 2 script. Everybody nods their approval. Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay, so they thoroughly enjoyed the William Shakespeare performances that evening and gathered in the front of the theater known as the Mystic Woods Theater to discuss the play that they'd just seen. Mike walks up to Leilani to talk to her about it. So, Leilani, how'd you like it? I thought it was spectacular. In particular, I enjoyed the Romeo and Juliet performance so much. I agree. It's amazing how they spoke in that era. The sophistication of their social interaction was incredible. To actually speak to each other in poetic phrases. A person would have to be acutely brilliant, I would think, to always have a statement or a response ready in a poetic form. How about it? To have poetry flowing out of you so easily seems so impressive. Do you have any favorite line that was spoken in the play? I like it when Juliet starts to say that she is tempted to take back the love that she has given to Romeo. I like that too. The implication is that when love is taken back from a person and then given to them again, it is such a sublimely and gloriously numinous and pleasurable feeling to get the love that you lost back. It's like she took it away just so they could both feel the pleasure to rediscover each other. That's the genius of William Shakespeare. He understands the human psyche. My goodness, so nice to be with a person you can have a profound conversation with. And you love rock and roll too. I'm so glad you returned to me. Yeah, it's so cool, Ilana. We both love the same kind of music, and we both love literature that was written centuries ago. Our love is immortal and crosses the boundaries of time, boundaries that for us are only gateways into new corridors of enlightenment to explore. Would you like to stay for the encore presentation? Definitely. This is so wonderful. Mike and Leilana stay for the encore performance as the rest of the people went home. Here's an excerpt from it. Now I got to go ahead and get my Shakespeare book. Okay, William Shakespeare. Okay. King Richard II. How now? What means death in this rude assault? Villain, thy own hand yields thy death's instrument. Go thou and fill another room in hell. He kills another, then Exton strikes him down. The hand shall burn and never quenching fire. That suggests thus my person, Exton, the fierce hand, hath with the king's blood stained the king's own land. About my own soul, thy seat is up on high, whilst my gross flesh sinks downward here to die. As full of valor as of royal blood, both have I spilled. Oh, would the deed were good. For now the devil, that told me I did well, says that this deed is chronicled in hell. This dead king to the living king I'll bear. Take hence the rest and give them brutal here. I'll go to another play. That was, okay, well, let's see. Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. The skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did first murder. This might be the pate of a politician, which this ass now overreaches, one that would circumvent God. Might it not? It might. Or of a courtier, which would say, good morrow, sweet person. There's another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddities? Now his quillets, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks. Why does he suffer this rude knave now to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel? And will not tell him of his action of battery. This fellow might be in times a great buyer of land with his statues, his recognizances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. In this time of his fines and the recovery of his recoveries, to have his fine paid full of fine dirt. Will his vouchers vouch him no more of his purchases, and double ones too, than the length and breadth of a pair of indentures? The very conveyances of his lands will scarcely lie in this box. And must the inheritor himself have no more not a jot more? Is not parchment made of sheepskins? And of calfskins too. They are sheep and calves which seek our assistance in that. I shall speak to this fellow whose graves this. To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till find it stopping a bunghole? That's what it says in it. I kid you not, that's what it says. Twere to consider too curiously to consider so. No, faith, not a jot. But to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it as this. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. And the dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. And why of that? Loam whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that the earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall I expel the winter's flaw. But soft a while, here comes the king. Enter the king, queen, Laertes in funeral procession, after the coffin, with priest and lords attended. The queen, the courtiers, who is this they follow? And with such maimed rites this doth betoken, the course they follow did with desperate hand, fordue its own life, 'twas of some estate. Couch me a while and mark, returning with Horatio. What ceremony else? That is Laertes, a very noble youth, Mark. What ceremony else? Her obsequies have been as far and large as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command o'ersways the order. She should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet for charitable prayers. Shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet, here she is, allowed her virgin krantz, her maiden strumus, and the bringing home of bell and burial. Must there no more be done? No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead, to sing sage requiem and such rest to her, and as to peace parted souls. Lay her of the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. God, that's good. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be, when thou liest howling. What, the fair Ophelia? Sweets to the sweet, farewell. Scattering flowers, I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride, oh, treble woe, fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of hold the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms, leaps into the grave. Now pile your dust upon the quick and the dead. Till of this flat a mountain you have made. Over the top of Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus. What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose Phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers. This I, Hamlet the Dane, leaps into the grave. The devil take thy soul. Grappling with him. Thou pray'st not well. I prithee take thy fingers from thy throat. For thou, I am not splentive and rash, yet I have in me something dangerous, which let thy wiseness fair hold off thy hand. Pluck them asunder. Hamlet, Hamlet. Gentlemen, be quiet. The attendants part them and they come out of the grave. Why, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag. I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her? Oh, he is mad, Laertes. For love of God, forbear him. Swans, show me what thou do. Woo, weep, woot fight, woot fast, woot tear thyself, woot drink up Isel, eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Dost come here to whine? To outface me with a leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us till our ground, singering his pate against the burning zone. Make Asa like a wart. Nay, and thou mouth I'll rant as well as thou. This is mere madness. And thus, a while, the fit will work on him, anon as patient as the female dove. When that her golden couples are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping. Hear you, sir, what is the reason that you use me thus? But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day. Exit. I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him. Exit Horatio to Laertes. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, get some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then in patience our proceeding be. Exeunt. Scene 2. Elsnore the castle. Enter Hamlet and Horatio. So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other. You do remember all the circumstance. Remember it. Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Methought I lay worse than the mutinies in the bilboes. Rashly, in praise be rash this for it. Let us know. Our indiscretion sometimes serves us well. When our deep what? Oh, I got a phone call. Okay, whatever. When our deep plots do pall, and that should learn us, there's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will. This is most certain. Up from my cabin, my sea gowns scaped about me. In the dark groped I to find them, had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting manners to unseal their grand commission where I found Horatio. Ah, royal knavery, an exact command, larded with many several sorts of reasons. Importing Denmark's health and England's too, with such bugs and goblins in my life that I'm supervised, no leisure baited, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe. My head should be struck off. Is it possible? Here's the commission. Read it at your leisure. But wilt thou hear now how I did proceed? I beseech you. Being thus burnetted round with villainies, ere I could make a prologue to my brains, they had begun the play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. I once did hold it, as statists do, a baseness to write fair, and labored much. How to forget this learning, but sir, how now it did me yeoman service. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote? An earnest conjuration from the king, as England was faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, as peace should still her wheaten garland wear, and stand a comma between their amities, and many such like as a great charge that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further more or less, how should those bears put sudden death, not shriving time allowed? No, believe me, that's the English language that I'm reading. Okay, how was this sealed? Why, even in that heaven ordinance, which was the model of that Danish seal, folded the writ up in the form of the other, subscribed it, give the impression, placed it safely. The changeling never known. Now the text day was our sea fight, and what to this was sequent thou knowest already. So Guildstern and Rosencrantz go to it. Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own institution grow. 'Tis dangerous when the baser nature comes between the passive fell and sense points of mighty opposites. Why, what a king is this? Does it not think there, stand me upon? He that hath killed my king popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage, is it not perfect conscience to quit him with his arm? Is it not to be damned? To let this canker of our nature come and further evil? It must be shortly known to him from England. What is the issue of the business there? It'll be short. The interim is mine. And a man's life no more than to say one. But I am very good Horatio. Very sorry. That So to Laertes, I forgot myself. For the images of my cause, I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors, but the bravery of Reefer did put me in a towering passion. Let's try a different. That was a sample of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Wait a minute. It's just kind of fun to read these Shakespeare plays. It's better than just like sitting and letting your brain idle, isn't it? Okay. Measure for measure, I'll do this one. Re-enter Mistress Ford. Come hither, Mistress Ford. Who the hell's Mistress Ford? Okay, Mistress Ford, the honest woman, the modest wife, the virtuous creature that hath the jealous fool to her husband. I suspect without cause, Mistress, do I? Heaven be my witness, you do if you suspect me in any dishonesty. Well said, brazen face. Hold it out. Come forth, sirrah. Pulling clothes out of the basket. This passes. Are you not ashamed? Let the clothes alone. I shall find you anon. 'Tis unreasonable. Will you take up your wife's clothes? Come away. Empty the basket, I say. Why, man, why? That's enough of that. That one's getting kind of weird. Okay. Okay, let's see. The Taming of the Shrew. Okay. Do a little bit of this one. Find some dialogue that's not embarrassing to read. Okay. How now? What's the matter? My old friend Grumio and my good friend Petruchio. How do you all at Verona? Signor Hortensio. Come you to part the fray? Can tutto il cuore ben trovato, may I say. Alla nostra casa benvenuto. Molto honorato, signor mio Petruchio. Rise, Dromio, rise. We will compound this quarrel. Nay, 'tis no matter, sir. What he legates in Latin, if this not be a lawful cause for me to leave his service, he bid me knock him and rap him soundly. I don't want to. Okay, let's do it differently. Okay. Antony and Cleopatra. Nah. See which one you want. Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Nobody in the audience. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Romeo to Juliet. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, this gentle fineness, my lips two blushing pilgrims ready stand, to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to holy palmers kiss. Have not saints lips and holy palmers too? Ay, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, thou grant for prayers take. Then move not while my prayers effect I take. They had my lips the sin that they have took. Sin from my lips, oh trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again, kissing her. Romeo, he just as scars that never felt a wound. Enter Juliet just above a window. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou were made as art far more fair than she? Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off, it is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of heaven, all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres will till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars. As daylight doth a lamp, her eyes in heaven, would through the airy region steam stream so bright. The birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that were a glove upon that hand. That I might touch that cheek. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being over my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montag. What's a Montag? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes, without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name which is no part of thee, take all thyself. Always. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo. What man art thou that thus bescreened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? By a name I know not how to tell you thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I had written, I would tear the word. My eyes have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montag? Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike. How canst thou hither tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here. With love's light wings did I overperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no stout to me. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity. I would not for the world they saw thee here. I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My wife were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love. By whose direction foundst thou out this place? By love that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as the vast of shore, that vast shore washed with the farthest sea. I should adventure for such merchandise. Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on, for fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false, as at lovers' perjuries they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be person they say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond. And therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overheardst ere I was my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding the light love with which the dark night hath so discovered. Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow, that tips with silver all these fruit treetops. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, that monthly change in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. What shall I swear by? Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee. If my heart's dear love, well, do not swear, although I joy in thee. I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which shall cease to be. Ere one can say it light and sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest. Tell me thy heart as I within my breast. How wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied? What satisfaction canst thou have tonight? The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I gave thee mine before thou did request it, and yet I would have word to give again. Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love? But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet, I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. North calls within. I hear some noise within. Do you love it? Anon, good nurse, sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again. Oh, blessed, blessed night, I am afeard. Being a knight, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial. Okay, I'm doing Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Rihanna or Juliet above. 3 words there, Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purposed marriage, send me word tomorrow, by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. Madam, I can. So thrive my soul. 1,000 times good night. 1,000 times the worst to want thy light. Love chord this go towards the schoolgirls for the with Riet or Juliet above. Hissed, Romeo, hissed. Oh, for a Faulkner's voice, to lure this tassel gentle bag again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, with repetition of. It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music attending to ears. Romeo, my dear, at what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee? By the hour of 9. I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back. Let me stand here till thou remember it. I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company. And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this. 'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from her hand. Like a poor prisoner in her twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty. I would I were thy bird. Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with so much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Exit. Sleep, dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father sell his help to crave and my dear hap to tell. Let's see what scene. Let's go to another scene. I gotta find more dialogue between Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Capulet's orchard, enter Romeo and Juliet aloft. Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet ere day. It was a nightingale, and not the lark, that pierced the feral hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was a nightingale. It was the lark, the herald of the morn. No nightingale, look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and Jack stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die. Yon light is not daylight, I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhales. To be to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not be gone. Let me be put to death, I am content, so wilt have it so. I'll say yon gray is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk. It is not day. It is, hie hence. Be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discourse and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and loath toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they change voices too. Since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows. More light and light, more dark and dark our woes. Enter nurse. Madam, nurse. Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about. Then window, let day in, and let life out. Farewell, farewell. One kiss, and I'll descend. He goeth down. Art thou gone, so love? Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings. Oh, thinkst thou we shall ever meet again? I doubt it not. And all these bowls shall serve for sweetness, for sweet discourses in our times to come. Oh God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookest pale. And trust me, love, in my eye, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu. Exit below. Oh my God. If thou art fickle, what thou dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle. For them. Oh, daughter, are you up? Who is it that calls? It is my lady mother. Is she not so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither? Why, how now, Juliet? Madam, I am not well. Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit. Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss. So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for. Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend. Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him. What villain, madam? That same villain, Romeo. Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart. That is because the traitor murderer lives. Ay, madam, for the reach of these hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death. We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company, and then I hope thou will be satisfied. Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart so for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him, to wreak the love I bore my cousin Tybalt upon his body that hath slaughtered him. Find some more dialogue between Romeo and Juliet. Oh, so I'm doing Romeo and Juliet right now. So anybody who enjoys my YouTube live stream audience, I know most people aren't doing like Shakespeare on YouTube, but this is what I chose to do. I can't believe there's somebody in the audience. Okay, let's see. I did most of it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to find some more dialogue between Romeo and Juliet. Is that it for this? There's only so many like lines that are between Romeo and Juliet. There's other dialogue between other cast members. Let's see. No, not till Thursday. There's time enough. Go, nurse. Go with her. We'll to church tomorrow. Exude Juliet and nurse. We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night. Aye, those attires are best, but gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight. For I have no need of many horizons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which while the nose crosseth full of sin. And her Lady of Capulet. I'm trying to find. Okay, what was it? Let's see. Okay, that was Romeo and Juliet. Why don't I do a different play? No, they're gone. Okay, so so that was an excerpt from the play that, like, within the Reality Bites 2 script that I was working on, the scene where Mike Meyer and Leilana Pierce, within the realm of fiction, they go to see a play of William Shakespeare, an assortment of different William Shakespeare plays, and that's an excerpt of some of the performances that they witnessed.